I planted a few pumpkins out in the back field, like I want to say 3 to 4 weeks ago, and they didn't look like they were going to come up, and we went away on the trip and I was just resigned to replanting them. And I came out here and there's, I think 5 or 6 have already come up out of the 8. So I just need to replant a couple, which is awesome. Less work for me. Good morning. It is Thursday morning. We've been back from our cruise for almost 48 hours now, and I feel like the entire time has been me just catching up on things that didn't happen before we left. But it also feels like I haven't talked to you in like a month, and I know that's not true, but I took a week off before we went on the cruise, and part of that was just because I was doing my last week at the newspaper. I wanted to make sure I could focus on that. I was helping a friend edit her magazine, and I was packing for the cruise, obviously. But then I'm actually so glad I didn't film and like try to edit it before I left, because I also caught a cold like 5 days before and while I was doing all of this work as well. And so had that week off, then did my cruise video. And so yeah, I think it was like mid-May last time I talked to you, or earlier, I'm not really sure. But a lot has happened, and I won't talk about all of it right now because that would be a very long video. But the one thing that I'm really excited about that you saw yesterday was that it is officially me going to my grandparents' house every 2 to 3 days to water my garden season. That's a very long title, but I'm sticking with it. But a little update there. So I told you yesterday about the back garden where the pumpkins are, but then there's the garden down by the house, which you also saw me watering. And I think I also planted 8 jack-o'-lanterns down there as well. And I think only 5 of those came up, which is fine. It was a really wet, cold spring, so I'm not really surprised. But I replanted those yesterday, and so they're good to go. I'll go water them again tomorrow. But I also had to replant all of my hot peppers, which is kind of a pain because they should have been sprouting by now, but none of them came up, and I'm not really sure why. I'm just gonna go with the fact that it was cold and wet for most of the spring, and I hope they'll come up now. But what's really cool is this is the first year I am trying to plant watermelon, but I don't even need to say trying because actually all 4 of them came up at my grandparents' house, which I wasn't expecting, but I am pleasantly surprised by. I also had to replant my beans in our backyard because only about half of them came up. This is something that happens every single year, and I think it's because I'm using very old bean seeds that I collected, and some of them might even be from when I started this garden way back in 2018, so I realized that I need to get new bean seeds. I've just been trying to use up the old ones, but I think next year I probably will start fresh. Anyway, garden update over. This morning, I woke up really early for some reason. I'm not really sure why, but I'm okay with it. And I finished up my reading roundup, which if you've been following me on Substack for any length of time, you know I post a reading roundup at the end of every month. And so it's just like a little list of all the books I read, when I finished them, what my rating was, and my thoughts on those books. Now, I don't want to ramble too much more right now because I have a lot to do today, but I did want to say that now that I'm back from the cruise, I'm officially on my own summer vacation. So if you've watched any of my older videos, you knew that I was planning and saving up so that I could take the summer off and maybe part of the fall as well. And so before I went on the cruise, I was doing my last ever issue at the newspaper. And so that is done. Everything else that I was winding down before I left is complete. And so now I'm officially on my own time. The only thing I'm going to be focusing on is making videos and working on my novel and working on like little projects around the house or things I've been putting off just in my own space, in my own mind for a very long time. And I won't go into what all of those things are right now because that would be a very long video, but I have a list on Notion, of course I do, of all the things that I want to get done in my time off. And some of that's writing, some of that's making extra videos. So I'll have my vlogs as usual every week, but I was thinking of adding a bit more like talking videos and stuff like that, or like more structured videos. So like morning routines, monthly favorites, things that don't take a lot of time. And so I could easily get a vlog and one of those done in the same week. Or I might just end up writing during that extra time that I have. I really don't know yet. But that's the beauty of this time off that I have like intentionally structured, is that I can fill this time off with whatever I feel like doing in that moment. Anyway, enough yammering. I want to go to the thrift store this morning, specifically the one where I found the orange rug that is below where I'm sitting right now. It was in one of my previous videos. I am really hopeful that they will have another cool ornamental rug. We will see. I always feel like that thrift store specifically has some hidden gems. Like every time I go, I find something really cool that I wasn't expecting. And I usually go to the bigger one that's by my house, but this one is smaller and all the way across town. But I'm gonna go there this morning. I don't need to, but I have a feeling that I will hopefully find something cool there. I really, really want another cool, like old school rug to put like back there. But we'll see. Okay, that is enough yammering for now. Let's go get some things done today. And we are back. I will start with the bad news first, and that is that I could not find any rugs. There were 0 rugs at the thrift store I went to, which is fine. I can wait for the right one. That's okay. Good news is I did not buy any clothing, even though I found a couple dresses that I really liked. I was thinking about all of the dresses in my closet that I'm like still trying to figure out if I'm gonna wear or not. So I was like, I don't need to add to that. And so that's good. No new clothing. But on the way home, I ended up at the library, which isn't a bad thing. I didn't end up spending any money, so that's good. And because we were on the cruise, I didn't have any library books out because all the ones I had out were going to expire while we were gone, so I had to return those. So I've been reading a lot of fiction lately, and so I'm in the mood for some nonfiction. And I found 2 3. One is a graphic novel, and I'll show you that one first. I picked this solely for the art in it. I actually have no idea what it's about, but it is called Portrait of a Body by Julie Deport. I don't know what that says. I'm so sorry. I can't read handwriting half the time. But yeah, no, I picked it because like, look at these blueberries, so pretty. Or like this is so cool. So no idea what this is about, but very excited to read it. And then this jumped out to me, Letters of a Woman Homesteader. To be completely honest, I mean, it sounded really interesting, like from the title alone, but I opened it and there's so little text in the book itself, and like if there are letters, then even better. But I always choose books on like the size or like how small the font is. If the font is like really small and it's a book this big, I'm probably not going to read it, which sounds terrible, but it's just too much mental energy. Actually, that's not true. It's not too much mental energy. It's the fact that I'll be spending so much time on one book, and a lot of the time I want to move on to something else, which tells you a lot about who I am as a person. But yeah, this is about a woman who became a homesteader all by herself or like with a kid in like 1909. I don't know where. We'll find out when we start reading it, but yeah, I think I'll start this one tonight. And then this one I picked up only because it's Annie Ernaux. Ernaux? I actually don't know how to say her name either. I read things and I don't look up how they're pronounced, and so I'm pronouncing them how I think they need to be pronounced. But I believe the writing is by her, and then the photographs are by someone named Mark Marie. So it's a thin book, big font, some pictures. And I've read a lot of her nonfiction, and so I am really excited to get to this one as well. But I do think I'm going to start with the Homesteader book. Okay, so I still need to answer emails. Not exciting. I need to work in the garden. I have a bunch of mint that is coming up, and before you say anything, I didn't plant it. It came in some dirt like 5 to 6 years ago, and no matter what I do, it just keeps coming back, which isn't the worst thing. I end up drying it and using it in tea, but I'm thinking next year I might completely clean out the bin and just get all new dirt so that I don't have to deal with mint cropping up where there should be basil or oregano or something like that. I don't know if I've mentioned this or not. I will show you where, like I'll take a picture of it and put it right here, question mark, we'll find out. Editing Catherine. But I am going to be building a pond in our backyard. There were a couple like low vegetable beds there, but we have so much like in the front yard and we have so much like in the rest of the yard that I have wanted a pond with a waterfall for a very, very, very long time. And this summer it is finally happening. But the last thing I need to do is take out this massive overgrown parsley that's gone to seed and is probably taller than I am. So I need to do that today. I need to cut the mint. I need to water the seeds I replanted yesterday. And then I also need to make cookies. So busy day. Let's get going. And we are back. I have had a ridiculously busy morning running around, working in the garden. I just made cookie bars for the crafting night that I'm going to tomorrow. And I have made myself a very fancy salad, and I just dropped rice on my dress. That's good. I know I don't often talk about what I eat during the day in these videos. I don't really know why that is. There's not any real reason for that, but I thought I might do that a little bit more because now that I have more time to like cook fancy stuff for myself and might not just be eating like a grilled cheese 3 days in a row. So today I have a wild rice salad, question mark. It's got wild rice, obviously, hard-boiled egg, feta cheese, cucumber, mixed greens from the garden. There was going to be arugula, but like, side note, tangent, as there always is with me, when we went away like a little over a week ago, the arugula was like just barely coming out of the ground, and by the time we got back, because of like all the rain that had been happening and all the sun that happened after, the arugula is now way too big and it's getting to the point of being bitter. And this happens every single year. It just kind of like takes off at one point and then all of a sudden it's way too bitter to eat. And so the mixed greens did fantastic. So I think I might plant some more of those at some point. I'm not quite sure when, hopefully soon actually. And then the saddest part, that's kind of a funny sentence, the saddest part of this salad is the honey shallot dressing. And it's not sad because it's bad, it's a very good dressing. It's sad because it's discontinued and I'm on my last bottle, and so it's a very bittersweet salad. Anyway, I know I was just on vacation and you're probably like, Catherine, you were resting for like an entire week. Wrong, I was doing things for an entire week, and then these last 2-ish days that I've been home, I was like unpacking and editing that video and now filming and just catching up on everything. And so I'm going to keep this video a little bit shorter. I think I'm going to stop it right here because now that the cookies are in the oven, I have some like unexciting admin stuff to do on my computer and nobody really wants to watch that. And so I think I'm going to stop it here, go do that, and I will see you next week. I hope you've been well, and thank you as always for watching. I will see you next time.